My name is Devorah Baum, and I'm an associate professor in English literature at the University of Southampton. Welcome to my exp. One of the liberating thrills of stand-up is watching someone uninhibited by social mores, because comics love nothing better than speaking about rude or censored things like shit, sex, and obscenity. And for Freud, in fact, partly the reason we joke is because we need somewhere to express our smuttier thoughts. We crave places where the lewd ideas we're walking around with, consciously or not, can come out. A need Freud even believed that was as vital to us as the need for sexual discharge itself, which is such an extraordinary, remarkable idea when you think about it. A man in the company of other men who enjoys smut is enjoying what he can't usually get away with under oppressive social inhibitions. So his enjoyment is really in daring to imagine obscenities in company. A man who laughs at smut, Freud says, is laughing as though he's the spectator of an act of sexual aggression, meaning the excitement or the pleasure he derives is really from shaming the woman who is the object of the joke. Joking thus construed is a kind of act of sexual sadism, and it's clearly the case that many a comedian has gained many a laugh over many years by shifting from sex to aggression and making women the prime victims of the joking industry. But it isn't just professional comedians who get away with that. Non-professionals are clearly no better. You need only check out, say, Donald Trump in the Access Hollywood tape, where we find him laughing with another man about how he acts around beautiful women, grabbing them by the pussy, and so on. And we also hear these two men forensically, anatomically discuss and describe the woman who's about to meet them off the coach. So the pleasure of that scene, for whoever enjoys it, is clear. She is the humiliated object, an implicit reference of their banter, whose pussy has already been grabbed, metaphorically. Entertainers and liars know that words have a funny side, but victims of bullying and befooling can know this too. And one of the tried and tested techniques for revealing this funny side of words is by repeating them in such a way as to show the kernel of weakness nestling inside every strongman performance. It's a gesture used by a lot of female comics looking to undermine misogynistic discourse simply by aping its lines. To take, for example, this aside by the comic Kathy Ladman, I don't have any kids. Well, at least none I know about. We can hear how by word for word parroting a stereotypical male comedian's brag, she provides about as deft a moment of comic outwitting as you could wish for. Indeed, since every narcissist must have his echo, the fact that echoes can subvert the lines they echo has developed into something of a feminist practice. Likewise, you could consider the American comedian Sarah Cooper's lip-syncing videos of Donald Trump, which were popular comedy memes that went viral during lockdown, precisely because she used his exact words to hoist him by his own petard. Or for a slightly earlier example of this echoing, you could consider the American comic Michelle Wolf as the invited speaker at the White House Correspondents Association dinner in 2018. She told a joke about grabbing him by the pussy and then added the kicker, he said it first, which was funny, one commentator said, because her obscene humour exposed the fundamental unfunniness of it all. In fact, if you watch Wolf's speech, and you can find it on YouTube, you'll see that the laughter she provokes in her audience is mostly of a nervous kind, as if people are becoming less sure of themselves or their own positions while listening to her, regardless of who they are or where they're sitting or with whom. So by the end of her act, nobody is beyond the reach of the joke, as we all discover together the critical risk of comedy, that for all joking may have its usual victims. In the end, with joking, everyone at some point will find themselves drawn in to the same fine mess.